Grow My Cleaning Company teaches owners of cleaning companies just like you how to grow your company, make more money, and finally take charge of your financial future and your life. This podcast is about automating and creating systems that give you time and money freedom so you can grow like crazy without losing control. Since this is totally free, if you're getting tons of value, want to support us and make sure that you get more of the good stuff, subscribe, rate, and review to this podcast today. Now, on to the show.
Hey, Cleaning Nation. It's Lindsay here at Grow My Cleaning Company. I am the Client Happiness Manager, and I'm hosting another podcast today with the fabulous Tracy Thompson, who I like to call her our, what do I call you? Our mindset coach, Jedi, or Jedi mindset coach.
Yeah.
Because she's like our Yoda over here, our secret weapon. And today we're going to talk about something that we see, Tracy, you're going to expand on this a lot, but we see it all the time in our coaching across the board. I know Mike sees it. I see it. I know I'm guilty of it. Before we started recording, I kind of even touched on how I do this myself. But today's topic is the thin line between planning and procrastination. So you can't really grow your cleaning company if all you do is plan and you don't execute. So Tracy, I'm going to let you take it away and just run with it.
All right. Well, welcome, Clean Nation. Hello. Listen, we all love to tell ourselves stories, right? It's story time today. And it sounds a lot like this. Well, Lindsay, I need to hire people in my business. I absolutely do. And I need to take on new clients, and I need to do all these things. But I have to plan first. I have to make absolutely sure that every single part of the process is already planned out and scripted. And I have to plan for all the variables and what could happen. And believe me, I can imagine a lot of things that could go wrong, and I have to plan for that. Okay. And all right. So it starts out innocent enough, doesn't it? It starts out innocent.
And this is all in our head so far. Like,
sure,
get a plan, but
sounds reasonable, right? Yeah. What all logical people are like, well, I need a plan. Okay. So
just gonna wing it.
so it's understandable. At first we go, all right, plan. Okay. So you start planning, and I'm doing that in air quotes for those of you who are in podcast land. We start planning, and pretty soon planning slips right into procrastination, and we didn't even catch it. But pretty soon, after a few days, after a few weeks, and keep continuing to tell yourself and other people, yes, I'm definitely going to start that hiring process. Oh man, I'm almost ready. Almost. That's
almost ready to be ready.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we talk about this a lot. Where's that line? Where's the line between planning and procrastination? And you know what? There's no black and white answer to this, but here's the truth of the matter. We all know there's a point where we start getting really uncomfortable with ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. We start going, I really should have done that a week ago, right? And the monkey mind, we call the monkey mind, right? The monkey mind starts going, oh, but you were really busy. You had those in-laws that came in out of town unexpectedly. And then, we have this other issue with this client, and the monkey mind starts to justify why you're planning. And I say in air quotes again, right? Planning is totally justified to take a month, and you haven't done anything really. You've been thinking about it, but you haven't been doing. And so we all have that feeling, that inner feeling that says, I've gone past planning and I'm really now in procrastination, but I'm going to dress it up in my head so that I don't have to feel bad about it. And then that keeps us stuck.
That's how do we cut it off?
Yeah, right? Okay.
Like, how do we, well, first of all, it takes, just to not even interject, but just to add to that, it takes a little bit of self-awareness to realize that that's happening in the first place. So I don't know about you, Tracy, but to me, it's like a little voice. It's like an icky feeling. That's the fine line for me. And I'm actually, again, I'm on the podcast, but I have a pen in my hands. YouTubers see it, but I'm like drawing a line basically. But yeah, I can just feel it. It's like this icky feeling. It's like, okay, now I'm just making excuses. And it's time to do something, right? Because another month is going to go by and I'm not going to do that thing. So Tracy, after we become aware that it's just the monkey mind chattering away and that we need to do something, how do we know what to do? Like, what's the next best step?
Yes. Well, I want to add just something, one little distinction to identifying that line, identifying when you've crossed over from planning to procrastination. Look at your pattern. Now, everybody can have one situation every once in a while where we go a little long on planning because we're really unsure. Maybe it's really, really new. It's an area that we're just really sort of emotionally a little afraid of every once in a while. But in my experience as a mindset coach, what I see is more likely that's really just a pattern. In other words, this is what you, quote, do. And here's another euphemism that people use for procrastination, Lindsay. And this is a telltale sign that you're a procrastinator. You're probably a professional procrastinator. Here it is. Ready? If you call yourself a perfectionist.
I'm raising my hands.
Before you even start.
Yeah, keywords, before you even do something. Right. I'm one of those people. I'm guilty. I'm not a cleaner. I don't own a cleaning company, but yeah, because in your head, you're already kind of working it out, right? You're like, oh no, and this has to happen before I can do that, and before I can do this and that. And then that becomes the quote reason why you're not doing it. So if you call yourself a perfectionist and that translates into you having to die from analysis paralysis, you got to analyze everything. You got to plan everything. You got to make sure, here's the thing, the first thing you got to do, even before you start to become self-aware. In this case, Lindsay, I'm going to suggest everybody do this first. Okay. If you have a pen and paper, write this down. So number one, change your story about this topic. Stricken the word perfectionism or perfectionist, or I have to plan everything from your vocabulary. Stop telling yourself the story that I am a perfectionist. Because as soon as you say that, and it's a pattern for you of having to overplan and waiting and procrastinating, then telling yourself that same story over and over about how you're a perfectionist and how you need to plan, it justifies procrastination. So maybe you are hearing or feeling that little voice that's telling you it's taking too long. Come on, get going. But you're ignoring it because you're justifying it with the story of perfectionism. Okay. So step number one, stop saying I'm a perfectionist. Stop telling yourself that. Instead, try this one on for size. I am a confident, bold, action-taking boss. Okay. I am a business owner, right? I'm a business owner who takes bold, confident action. I'm a business owner that takes bold, confident action.
Right.
That sounds good.
And I trust myself. I trust my instincts. I trust my intuition. I trust that when I take an action, even if it isn't perfect, that's feedback and I do better next time and I go faster and I'm more successful. And we've all heard it before. He or she who's first to market, he or she who takes the fastest action, who gets in the game, who's on the field, who takes the action, is the one who wins most of the time. So we just have to start shifting the story first, that success loves speed.
Success loves speed. Oh, that's so good. And so let's just recap that real quick, because there was so much good stuff there. And I'm like, I still have my pen. So if y'all still have your pen out there. So number one, I heard you say, and make sure I got this right, stop calling yourself a perfectionist. That's the first thing. Stop it in your tracks. Stop that self-talk. And then number two is replace it with, what was the affirmation again?
The affirmation is something that sounds like, I am a confident, bold decision maker, action taker, owner, right? I am the owner who makes and takes bold actions. And really underneath that, the sub story is, and I trust myself. I trust myself that I can take action and not have to have it be perfect. Around here, Mike calls that the crappy 1.0 version.
Yep. I am so guilty of this because I'm a rehabilitated perfectionist. Let's just say that. It's not as good as an affirmation, I admit, but anytime I get stuck on something, Mike is just like, just give me a crappy version 1.0. You're going to have mistakes. It's fine.
Yes.
Better than nothing. Yeah.
So you give yourself permission. Let's all let ourselves off the hook that we're supposed to be and that we have to be perfect. We don't. In fact, as a business owner, perfectionism and owning a business are like oil and water. They do not go together. And if you cannot make intuitive, quick decisions, take bold, confident action when you believe in yourself, if you don't develop that muscle and you don't start now, that's what's going to be your Achilles heel in your business. Honestly, it won't even be about the systems and the strategies and all the cool things that Mike teaches. It's going to be you self-sabotaging. I mean, those are bold words, but I'm just saying, it's like if I were to have this mic off its stand, I would drop the mic.
Don't drop that mic. I like that mic. Tracy got a new mic.
Yes.
So here's another, not really a side tangent and slightly woo, not really that woo-woo, but there's another concept there that is kind of a misconception, I think, with people in general, is that number one, perfection doesn't really exist.
Exactly.
It's this false belief that I don't even know where it comes from. I feel like, especially with American entrepreneurs, we're just like, gotta do it right. We gotta do it perfectly and execute it. And it's like, yeah, that perfect time, that perfect amount of money in your bank account, it might never be there. And then before you know it, your time has passed and you can't do anything anymore.
The pursuit of perfection is the formula for madness, for really living an intensely unhappy, unfulfilled, unsatisfied life, because perfection is impossible. So holding on to the story that I am a perfectionist is not only a recipe for misery, but it's the surefire way to self-sabotage and sink your business. I mean, that's bold, but I'm telling you, that will kill you. So you asked me earlier, what do you do about it? Yes. What do you do about it? So if you know, you're like, okay, I'm recovering.
Raising my hand again.
Perfectionist.
What do I do?
Now what? Okay, so
there's so much to do.
Every time you find yourself with a new, you're ready to take an action, ready to say yes to your yes. And that part of you is going, yeah, you need to do this. This is the time. Go ahead, take the action, take the leap, do it. And then your inner monkey mind perfectionist tries to chime in and go, oh, no, you're not ready. You got to plan. You got to, analyze the crap out of it first. What I want you to do is first pull up your new bold affirmation statement, your new story about who you are, because your identity matters big time. Then I want you to take one action that you wouldn't normally take without tons of planning. So maybe it's not the entire, the entire leap, but let's play out an example. Let's do hiring is a big thing right now.
Yes.
So let's say that you've you're either just now wanting to get out of cleaning yourself, doing it all yourself, and you're wanting to start hiring, and it's intimidating. Or if you're already in a hiring process, but what you've been doing hasn't been working, you have to try something new. Either way, there's a new, bolder, bigger action you have to take. And the perfectionist in you is saying, oh, but you have to do a ton of research, you have to wait, and you better look up all the different kinds of ads you could run, check out the competition, see what they're doing, la, la, la.
Yeah.
Okay? Instead of that, I want you to take one smaller action towards actually doing it versus planning it. So for instance, if you're ready to start hiring, write the ad and contact the platform or open it up, start an account with Indeed or wherever you're going to advertise. Do that before you feel like you're, quote, ready. Start with a crappy 1.0 version immediately. Take that action now. And
I hear a lot of people that get a little frozen at this part in the hiring process. They're like, oh, but my hiring ad, it's not perfect. It's not good enough. Like, it could be better. It's like, just post it. You need to hire. Just post it. We hear that a lot. Michael would be like, just do it. Like Nike says, right, Tracy? Just do it.
Exactly.
Like athletes. You always compare it to athletes.
Oh, it's so true. It's absolutely true. And I want to play that metaphor out for everyone in just a second, because I had one more thought I wanted to share about the hiring, this hiring process as an example. So one of the other areas that we find that people really procrastinate in that hiring process, since we're using that, is when they get one tiny little, I would call it negative, I don't know, less than ideal response or feedback. And they go, see, I knew it. No. I need to go way back into planning mode again, which is code for I need to procrastinate some more and stop doing anything until I can perfect it. Or people didn't show up for the first interview, so that must mean the whole thing is wrong. Well, I better go back to planning. Right. So, and just recognize, everyone, this is 100% emotionally driven. This is emotional. None of this is logical. None of it. Stopping what you're doing or planning forever and calling yourself a perfectionist, none of that is logical. It is all emotional. So let yourself off the hook. Don't tell yourself lies. Just go, you know what? I'm going to elevate and evolve my emotional muscle. I'm going to raise my emotional IQ, right? My EQ. I'm going to mature emotionally and go beyond the fear, the grip of the fear monkey mind who's keeping me small. Okay, so that's the first thing. So now back to the sports analogy, because I love this.
I love it.
I love this one. You know, for all of you who have ever played sports or watched sports or are fans of sports will understand this. If you're an athlete and your coach tells you to do something, if you're playing football, it's, run a new play, or if I was a gymnast for many years. Like if my coach told me, okay, you're going to try a new move on the bars, the uneven bars, that first reaction, believe me, in any player is, oh crap. That
sounds scary.
That's beyond my capability at this point. And if that athlete were to say to their coach, you know what, coach, I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't know. I'm not ready. The coach, I know when I was in gymnastics, if I had said that, and I did, there was a couple times where I was like, ooh, that's kind of scary. I don't think I can do that. The answer was always, of course you can't do it. You've never done it before. The only way you're going to be able to be ready to do it is to do it. Get on the field, get on those bars, do it, do it. And did I fall? Of course I did the first time.
Yeah.
Because
that's show up to your interview. So it happens.
Yeah. Okay. So we understand it somehow when it's athletes and when it's even high stakes athletics, like pro football, we understand that they miss throws more than they make them. But somehow when it's us, we somehow have twisted this whole thing and told ourselves repeatedly these lies that you have to get it right every single time. You have to be perfect. You can't make mistakes. And it's such an insidious lie. And the kissing cousin of that lie is later. I'm going to do it later. Oof, man. As Mike always says, that'll eat your lunch. That's right.
Your lunch.
Later. The later lunch eater. Yeah, you don't want that. If you find yourself saying, yes, I need to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm making this decision. I'm making this bold decision, but I need to do it later. But I'm not ready right now. And that becomes a pattern in your life. Really look at that, because that is just as bad as procrastination. It's a different flavor of procrastination. The whole lie that you're going to do it later. How many things have you put in that category that you still never did, that you never went back to, and you knew were going to be good for you, that you really needed, but you kicked the can down the road?
Tracy, there's so many nuggets in this. I want to just rewind this and listen to it myself. But closing this out,
yes,
I just thought of something off the cuff, and I think you're gonna like it, Tracy. So I have a challenge to Cleaning Nation. Whatever time of year you're listening to this right now, usually we do a call to action that is like, check out our website or what we have to offer. I have something different on this episode. My challenge is that thing you're procrastinating on that has to be perfect. As soon as you're done listening to this episode, go do the first step. Do that, whether it's buying the domain for your new cleaning company, whether it's posting that hiring ad, just do it. Just post it. What do you think, yes, Tracy?
I freaking love it. I love it. And I want to encourage everyone to go to the Facebook group, to go to our Facebook group or our Instagram account, either way, whichever one you follow us on, and tell us what it was like for you.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us what it was like. What was it like to take that action, to trust yourself, to tap in, tell yourself a new story, an empowered story, and take the action.
Yes, if you're on YouTube, comment below. Either way, just say, this is, I don't know what episode this is going to be, but we'll call it the Lindsay and Tracy challenge. How about that?
I love it.
You love it. Yeah, let's do it. So whenever you listen to this, could be a year from now, let us know how it went. We're eager to hear. I'm going to go actually do something on my to-do list because you just inspired me, Tracy. That's it, Cleaning Nation. Tracy and I will see you next time. Tracy, thanks so much for doing this with me, and take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you're fired up, ready to grow, and want to see if you have what it takes to work with us at Grow My Cleaning Company, here's what I want you to do right now. Go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. That's growmycleaningcompany.com/talk to book an appointment to speak with me personally. I'm going to jump on the phone with you to get you crystal clear on where you are now, where you want to be, and how to get you there. Don't walk around in the dark any longer. If you are serious about growing your cleaning company, it's time to finally get the systems in place that you need to grow. We've helped hundreds of owners of cleaning companies not only grow their business and their personal freedom, but give back to their community as well. If that's what you're looking for, head over to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk and book a time to talk with me personally. I can't wait to get to know you and your business.